Hey there. So, in this short lesson, you're going to learn how to present your evidence in court without becoming overly emotional. Now, this video was requested by one of you who left a message in my comments section asking, how do you present evidence in a way where you're not coming across as overly emotional? So, I'm going to tell you how to do so in this video. So, make sure you stay tuned until the end. Now, this will help you to feel more empowered about facing that custody battle with a narcissist, even a covert narcissist in court. It's important that you stick around and watch the whole entire lesson so that way you can be more empowered and feel less anxious about that day in court. Before we get to the lesson, let me tell you what inspired this video. So one of you left me a comment asking, how do you present evidence to the court without talking too much? And so I sent a message back to you. Shout out to you if you're watching this video, asking, well, what do you mean by that? Just give me a little bit more detail. And you provided that detail for me and gave me a little bit more clarification as to what you were talking about. And I said, you know what? I'm sure she's not the only person that has that question. And so I decided to make this video for you all answering that question, because we know that emotions are not good or bad, right? We don't judge ourselves for having emotions, but we do know that when you're not able to regulate your emotions well in court, it does make you less credible. And so we want to learn how to present a strong case, a confident case, while also acknowledging our emotions, right? But learning how to regulate them so that it's not compromising our confidence in court. Number one, you want to make sure that you practice regulating your emotions. What are some common emotions that you can expect to feel during this process? Well, we know you can expect to feel frustrated, especially when that narcissist is going to be trying his or her best to charm that judge, okay? So you can expect to be frustrated. Also, sadness. You may be sad. You may still be dealing with the loss of the breakup and the reality that you're going to have to co-parent with this narcissistic person. And you may also be feeling anxiety because you're not an attorney and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, all these catastrophic thoughts may be coming to your mind that I have no hope. This is just going to be all horrible. And so you may be very anxious. And having feelings is not bad, right? We don't judge ourselves for having feelings, but we do know in order to come off as the most credible in court, we definitely have to learn how to regulate our emotions. So that's the first thing you want to do is practice regulating your emotions. Do what works for you. For some people, doing deep breathing exercises, 478 is a deep breathing exercise that I do for myself when I want to calm my nervous system down. For other people, they may want to bring like a journal with them to court. And that journal is going to be for them to vent. Their venting journal while they're in court and just get their emotions out in real time down on paper. For some others, you may decide to use some grounding techniques. So do what works for you. I would also suggest that you reach out, talk to a counselor or some mental health professional to find out what's the best option for you based on your individual situation. Okay, so we talked about practicing regulating your emotions. The next thing you're going to do is organize your exhibits in the order that you plan to discuss them, or you can organize your exhibits by witness, right? You also want to make sure that you label your exhibit. So for example, let's say you have photos, right? So a stack of photos, that may be exhibit A if it's all related to one incident, right? The next exhibit may be some text messages from a particular day. You want to mark that as exhibit B. So you get the idea. You want to make sure that you label your exhibits. The other thing I want to mention is that make sure that when you are bringing your exhibits to court, that you have a copy for the other side and for the judge. So it should be 3 stacks of exhibits, the originals, a copy for the judge, and a copy for the other side. The other thing you want to do is create some scripts. And these scripts are going to have literally what you're going to say to admit these exhibits into evidence, okay? It's very important that you have that. Now, I recommend that you create these scripts. If you're interested in seeing what scripts I have available, just send me an email. You can send me an email to nasheiasmith@gmail.com. But you want to create a script that can help you get your exhibits admitted into evidence. And you want to practice using your scripts. And on the day of, you will come off more confident if you don't use your script. But worst case scenario, if you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, right, or panic ensues, you can always rely on those scripts. Number 3, you want to practice in advance. So you can practice in the mirror, you can record yourself on video, you can practice with a friend or family member, and you can definitely speak with a counselor, or if you want to practice with a counselor, you can do that as well. And with that being said, that's the end of the lesson. For those of you who are interested in receiving additional support and encouragement, feel free to send an email to nasheasmith@gmail.com to get added to my email list so that you will be the first to know when the online course becomes available, and also be added to my small and intimate community. I know the introverts out there will love this, where we will have bi-weekly boot camps where you can practice the skills learned in the course and receive live feedback. Because for some of you, you may already know this information, right? A lot of this information is readily available on Google. But what you're really seeking is just that safe place to practice, so that way you can be more confident. So if that's you, feel free to reach out. And until next time, I want you to remember that you're not in this alone. Let me hold your hand and walk with you. Take care. Until next time.